Are you tired of making crappy briskets at home? I'm going to show you a few easy steps to make the ultimate backyard brisket right now on Skull and Mortar. I'll be cooking my brisket today on a Masterbuilt Gravity 800. You can do this same recipe on any smoker. It's going to work just fine, but the first thing we're going to do is get our smoker up to temperature. Next thing we're going to do is trim our brisket. Trimming your brisket's important. You want to make sure that you remove all the large fatty areas, the silver skin, things like that. The things that aren't going to render out. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take care of this big fat vein right here. This fat vein separates the point up here from the flat down here, and it is not going to render. It's big, it's hard, it's nasty. It is not going to work. So go ahead and cut that out. We're going to use a boning knife here, and we're just going to make slow, safe, controlled cuts. This is why it's important to have a sharp knife, because a dull knife is a dangerous knife. You just want to, like I said, just slow control, Take your time. The key here is you want to expose the meat underneath this fat as well, because we want that point meat to get some seasoning and to really be able to cook nicely, because the point meat is honestly some of the best meat that you're going to get on your smoker. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of flatten out some of these edges here so that we get a nice flat, even cut. So later when we go back to do our slices, everything is easy to find. Now if you notice, the grain of this meat kind of runs like this. So I'm going to cut this tip off here so I know where to slice. So later when I go back to do my slices, I'll be looking for this flat edge right here. Then we're going to come back through here and we're just going to get rid of this fat. Cutting your brisket like this is going to help just ensure that you get a nice even cook. And if you have any oxidized meat, you want to make sure you get rid of that oxidized meat. The only person on earth who has oxidized meat they're trying to share around is Terry's mom, because everybody knows that meat is oxidized AF, if you know what I'm saying. That joke sucked. That wasn't even funny, but I'm going to leave it in. And now what we're doing is we're just getting rid of some of these thick pockets of fat. We're getting rid of some of the silver skin. Just cleaning her up a little bit. Now I'm going to show you guys a way to cheat your briskets here, especially because we're going to be cooking hot and fast. If you don't know what that means, we're going to have our smoker at about 300 degrees, and it's going to take 6 or 7 hours to cook versus taking all day at 225. What I like to do is I like to put my brisket in a foil pan just like this. What this is going to do is it's going to collect all the juices and keep all that moisture all around my brisket, so it's just steaming up through the brisket the whole time while still allowing it to have some bark on that top of the brisket and the sides of the brisket. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some Killer Hogs Texas brisket rub, and we're going to go ahead and get that first layer of seasoning down. Layering your seasonings is extremely important because it helps just layer those flavors. Now you can go ahead and use a binder if you want. I rarely use a binder because the salt in the rubs is going to pull out moisture, and that moisture is going to help bind the rub to the meat. Now if you want to use a rub, if you want to use a binder, you can use mustard, you can use hot sauce, you can use whatever you want. But like I said, I don't typically use one anymore. I did starting out. And the key thing with this is you want to make sure that you get all your surfaces. So you want to get your sides, you want to get the back, the bottom, all of it. And this is a big piece of meat, it's hearty. You can really go heavy on the seasoning. You don't have to worry about using too much. I've never used too much, and I've seasoned the crap out of these things, so it's really hard to go overboard. Now before I flip my brisket, I'm going to go ahead and apply my next layer of seasoning, which I'm going to use some Skull and Mortar barbecue rub. This is not currently available. It will be again in the future, but until then, use some of your favorite rub. Again, you can go over to Malcolm Reed's site, howtobarbecueright.com, and you can get his barbecue rub. I'm a big fan of Malcolm Reed and his products. You know, if you've been watching my channel for a while, that I kind of consider him the godfather of YouTube barbecue. And we're just going to do the same thing here. All the sides, the backs, everything. You want to make sure you get seasoning down inside of there. And again, don't be afraid to over season, be afraid to under season. The reason I like to use a barbecue rub when a lot of people just like to stop at the salt and pepper, and you surely can just stop. You can use straight salt, pepper, garlic. You can use this right here. You can use straight salt and pepper. I like to use the barbecue rub because the barbecue rub brings out the color. It's going to give it a nice like auburn color, a nice yeah, it's just really going to make it pop. It's going to look good. It's going to add peppery notes to your bark. I think that using a barbecue rub on a brisket is what you should do. I know a lot of people are going to want to stick to that Texas brisket and just use the salt, pepper, garlic, but I'm telling you right now, most of those guys are adding more to their rubs than they're telling you. So that's how I do mine. And that's how you make a perfect backyard brisket to me. Guys, that's all we're gonna do for our backyard brisket. Now, if this was a competition brisket, we do a lot of other steps. We'd probably inject, we'd probably do some other things, but we're not gonna worry about that because we're just making this brisket to be a good eating brisket. We don't wanna overpower the brisket. We don't wanna do too much. We're not looking for that one bite. We're looking for the whole experience for this one. So that's all we're gonna do. It's really super simple. And we're gonna get it on the smoker at 300 degrees, like I said, because we're going hot and fast. And if you do hot and fast right, you're not gonna lose any quality versus low and slow. And we're gonna go ahead and get that on our smoker right now. See, we got a nice blue smoke here, so we're gonna go ahead and pop this in, the pan and everything directly on the smoker. Again, we're gonna catch all these juices. It's gonna keep our smoker clean, and it's going to help keep our brisket moist. Now we've pulled our brisket. It's at 165 degrees internal temperature. As you can see, we don't have a whole lot of liquid built up in here. So this is why it's great to use the pan, because the liquid you do have, you've saved up, and it's gonna steam back up through your brisket now as we wrap it. So that's what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go ahead and wrap it, and we're gonna leave it in the pan and then wrap the top of the pan. We're gonna get this back on the smoker and cook it to 205 degrees internal temperature. So here's our brisket. It's finished. It took about 6 hours because we did it hot and fast. We put it on the smoker at 300 degrees. We got it up to an internal temperature of 165 degrees. Then we wrapped it up and let it finish off until it reached an internal temperature of 205 degrees. Now it's time to cut into this bad boy and see what we got. I'm gonna break out the Doll Strong Omega Series slicing knife, and we're just gonna cut this bad boy and see what we got. That looks amazing. Look at our smoke ring here. We got a nice bright red smoke ring. We got juice just pouring out of this thing. We got our point, our flat up here, our point down here. This brisket is looking pristine. Let's cut into it here. Let's get a couple slices. This brisket passes the bend test, passes the snap test. Let's give it a taste and see if it passes the taste test. Yeah. Pretty freaking good. Guys, I'm gonna talk with my mouth full because I'm disrespectful as hell. But making a backyard brisket is easy, it's delicious. We can do it in just a few steps. Don't be intimidated. A lot of people are intimidated by the brisket. Don't be intimidated by the brisket. Don't be intimidated by the brisket. Just get out there and cook, guys. That's all you got to do to get good at barbecuing. It's not rocket science. It's not some mystical, unknown, magical science, guys. Just get out there and get in the reps. Figure out what works for you. Figure out what you like and replicate it. Keep doing it over and over and over again until you're making killer food all the time. Guys, I'm John Barker. This is Skull and Mortar. We will see you guys soon with a brand new video. If you learned something, hit that like, hit that subscribe. What else needs to be said? We'll see you guys soon.